Hey y'all, welcome to H2SWOLE. This is a midweek edition. I'm not going to go over my nutrition and training because I'm saving that for the weekend. Today's just kind of a quick rundown on a few questions that we've had. I'd like everybody to meet Justin. Justin is a power lifter out of London, Kentucky. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Justin Richardson. Try to focus more on the powerlifting side of lifting weights, but I definitely like to learn every aspect of lifting weights I can. So that's why I gladly agreed to come here and talk to Charlie, because I love fitness, anything fitness related. So see if we can help out with some of these questions.
Alrighty, we're going to jump right into the questions we got this week. First question is from Derek in Corbin, Kentucky. His question is, I've been told I can work my abs every day. Then I've also been told not to work my abs every day. Which one is right? My opinion on this is you can work your abs every day. The abs do recover quicker than any other muscle, but there's two types of working your abs. There's direct and indirect. Indirectly, you're going to be working your abs when you do other exercises. Directly would be, isolating your abs and actually doing ab workouts. The core is actually like the design of your abs and like your obliques and stuff. Like basically, it's to support the spine. So because of that, they do get worked every day and they're always working. But a lot of people, their reason for wanting to work their abs every day is to get six-pack abs. Well, you're not burning fat when you're doing ab workouts. You're increasing muscle mass. So, that's my opinion on it. You can, but I would work abs probably twice, maybe 3 times a week if I was doing it. I think the abs, they're made of fast and slow twitch muscles, just like your legs and arms. So in my opinion, I don't treat them any differently. What's your opinion on that?
Same. You can work them every day, but like you were saying, you work them. Again, going back to my world, powerlifting, deadlift, squat, everything, bench, everything we do, you're tightening your core up. You're working your abs. But if you're not really putting your abs under any kind of resistance to be sore, then I don't think you're really working your abs to their full potential. So I agree. I think 2 or 3 times a week is very beneficial. Work them every day. I think you're just gonna, like we were saying earlier, destroy your posture or something like that. If you're sitting trying to do 8 million crunches a day, Sixpacks are also built in the kitchen and doing some cardio. It's not just from doing crunches every day. Again, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with him. And I don't have a six-pack. I'm kind of a bigger guy, but it's basically, it's not just my opinion. It's really science that if you don't put any resistance, like Justin was saying, like if you don't add some weight to your ab workouts, then you're just working them. It's kind of like if I do, say when I was in the military, I did 200 push-ups a day. Did my chest and arms get big? I could knock out push-ups like no other, but I wasn't bigger, But I think it's kind of the same thing,
You need to shock them up. Do hang downs, as opposed to doing crunches, or just like any other muscle group. It has to be shocked in order for it to grow and for it to improve. So, good question.
The second question is from Tyler, Williamsburg, Kentucky. Tyler asks, what is something I can do to increase my bench press? You're lucky, Tyler, because I just happen to have the man here that can answer that question pretty well.
I don't know about all that. From my experience, every bench day I always hit shoulders, back, and triceps, because when you're benching, you hit all those muscle groups. But also, I have found here lately that working in biceps increase your bench, because if you see people on the platform or on the bench to have a crazy arch. You know, everybody likes to talk bad about that, says it looks stupid, but it's actually pretty smart because it's all about decreasing the range of motion between when you rack and to your body and back up. So same thing with your biceps and your forearms. If you grow those to where you're coming down and you're decreasing the range of motion it takes for it to hit you and spring off of you, then that increases your bench dramatically. So like I said, I hit back almost every day something because I've always been told a strong back never fails. So with that, big lats, in my opinion, brings big bench with that. So again, that's all my opinion. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but that's just from grinding it out. That's what I've experienced.
I totally agree with Justin on that, mainly because I know he benches a lot more than I do. But I totally agree with the last thing he said. I would suggest if you're wanting to increase your bench, is to do heavy pulling exercises. Like, you know, when you're in there doing back day, I mean, just go heavy, heavy, heavy. The stronger your back gets, the more you're gonna be able to press up. It's you're building your platform. You know, that's the strength platform that you have. And another thing that I would suggest maybe, if you do a lot of volume, I would suggest adding heavy lifting to your workout. If you do only heavy lifting, I would suggest adding some volume. You know what I'm saying? Like say I come in here and I max out and I'm doing 6 reps on heavy bench press, okay? What I'm suggesting is come back down and knock out to where you can do 20 reps, you know, going all the way down like a pyramid, because I think the volume will shock your body enough to help you, you know, kind of build up to a different momentum than what you have. Also in the past, I've done plyo push-ups. I feel that the explosiveness, if you don't know what a plyo push-up is, it's when you're down in a push-up position and you explode up out of it and kind of come up in the air. It's kind of like a clap and push-up, but without the clap. Basically, that helps you, that explosive area, you know. And I mean, I don't know if Justin's ever tried that or not, but that seemed to help me get out of the spot and kind of get over the plateau that I was at. I noticed that also, I assume in powerlifting they probably use chains and bands.
Yeah, you can reverse bands for tension and chains. I mean, just anything just to help switch up.
I think that depends on where your problem is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing you want to look at. Is your problem getting off your chest, or is your problem getting on the rack? Because that's two different issues, you know.
That's where I think, let me interrupt you, but that's where the slingshot, stuff like that, board work. If you don't know what board work is, being if you're benching and you have 1, 2, 3 boards placed on your chest, you see a lot of I think they got something now called bench buddy or bench blocks that goes on the bar. So basically it creates that gap about this much gap between your chest and the bar. And that's basically the work from what you're saying, from here to here, because that's a lot of people's weakness is coming off their chest. So slingshot, same way. Slingshot is 100% you up until you get down to here, and it just helps you rebound up. So if your max is 350, load the bar up at 380, 385, somewhere in there, have somebody spot you and use the slingshot. I mean, because a lot of it's mental too. I mean, you think that I'm gonna die if I try this weight and I miss this lift, but you realize that you got people around you that's gonna spot you and you're not gonna get hurt. So feeling, like I said, if your max is 350 and you're feeling what 380 feels like up here, then that's huge. That's a huge milestone in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that, and also switching up, checking your grip out, because I know used to, every time I laid down, it was ring fingers on the little spots on the bar, on the smooth parts. Well, the more I figured out, I actually needed to be pinky fingers on the rings instead of my ring fingers. So that increased my bench because I wasn't working, whichever muscle group I'm working more tris than I am lats off the bench instead. So I said there's a lot, but it all starts with what you said, adding different things into it, being the volume or whatever, and just breaking it down to make sure that you're posture and that everything is correct and that your technique is right. I mean, I see the biggest thing for me, and this sort of goes into our next question, things that you see wrong, but people will bench, and as they're struggling coming up, you start seeing their legs flow out from under them because they're pushing everything in and their legs fly out. You shouldn't ever do that. Like, your power's coming up through your feet, up into your legs, into your hips, and then up. I mean, I know people who has torn a quad benching because they're pushing so hard into the ground coming off their chest. So, I mean, until you get all that technique down, I mean, and that will increase your bench drastically, you know, having that good technique down. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, you know, and maybe we need to make a bench video one day in here just for stuff like that.
We'll do that.
So.
Look, sometime in the future, we'll have like a bench video. We'll show like different forms, different ways you can help increase that. I think that's a good idea.
Things that you may be doing that may not be beneficial and why this would be more beneficial this way, but I think, I mean, until we can talk about it, but until you see somebody doing it, I think it's different.
Yep. One thing that will help you almost instantly is if you go to an actual public gym, is seek out somebody who's bigger and better than you and be their workout partner. You'd be surprised how many guys need a workout partner. And if you get a workout partner that's a step above you, you're going to start benching more, I promise.
It's very humbling when you think you're a very strong guy and somebody comes in and warms up with your max. So this is true. I mean, there's always going to be somebody bigger and better than you, and no matter what you're doing. So that's another thing. Just make sure you're humble with everything you're doing, and like he said, don't be afraid to ask for assistance on doing something, or watch a guy doing something, pick his brain, like, why are you doing this way? You know, why are you adding this exercise in on chest day? Well, and then have him explain that to you, because obviously, you know, it's helped them out. So, I mean, like I said, critique, you know, have somebody critique you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, just being humble is a big thing.
If there's one thing that I've found out in the gym, it's crazy. Usually the scariest looking dude
Is the nicest.
Is the one that's ready to tell you everything you've ever wanted to know. I mean, he's waiting for somebody to ask him a question so he could just spill it all out. And I mean, it might be, you know, 50% bro science, but I mean, when you think about it, look at all the bodybuilders of the greats, you know, they were all pretty much on bro science, you know, and look what they did. So it has to take you somewhere. We're going to move on to our third question. Me and Justin were actually talking about this earlier. It's kind of a cool question. This is from David Tifton out of Georgia. He asked, what is one of the biggest mistakes you see people making in the gym? The list could actually go on and on and on, but
how much time do we have?
yeah, for me, the biggest thing that I see is somebody going through the motions. That's a big thing with me. Like you could say, you know, form, but I've noticed today with the CrossFitters and the bodybuilders and the powerlifters and all the different combination of people in the gym together now, like that might be their form. You know, you're looking at it thinking, what the hell is that guy doing? And like, it really, that's what he's supposed to be doing. He's working some muscle that you've never heard of before, I guess, you know. But anyway, that's a lot of people will say form, but for me, it's going through the motions. And what I mean by that is, I honestly believe you could go to the gym 5 days a week, and if you're just going through the motions, you'll never get anywhere. It's really good that you've made that habit. That's one of the things I usually preach about, is making the habit, because motivation will go away one day. At first you'll have it, and then discipline is the only thing that keeps you going. But what I mean by like going through the motions is you're too much in the mind. You see people in there and they're doing their workout, you know, but they're thinking about, you know, the picnic this weekend, the family event, you know, tomorrow, how much they got to do at work tomorrow. You got to get out of your head, you know, get out of your head and literally get into the muscle. You know, just your body is what you're in there for, and you need to be in the body, you know. And I know that sounds kind of like hippie shit, but that's just, That's how I feel about it, though.
No, I agree 100% because that's actually what I was going to say to an extent, because it's so easy to. I'm 90% of the time I'm a morning guy. I go to the gym around 5:30 every morning, and so many times it's a struggle to get up because I've stayed up late, I got home late for work, whatever it is. But I noticed that like training, like I'll have somebody make a routine up for me because I'm a person that I'll do it or die. You know what I mean? Like if I have on my list to do today shoulders, these 5 exercises, I'll do it, or like literally I will not go that day or that morning and go that afternoon just because I know if I don't do it, I'll be pissed off at myself. So that's one thing for me is making sure I'm always doing something like for a reason. It's so easy. You see, I mean, where I go in the mornings, you see the same people every morning. 80% of them have, I mean, it's in a bad way, but have not gained any size, leaned out. They've not done anything. They look exactly the same as they did when I started going 4 or 5 years ago. So that's a big one, is to make sure, like, why are you doing it? There's a reason why you are doing this. It's to make yourself healthier, to make yourself look better. But don't forget that stuff. Make goals like, okay, it's September, by October I want to be down 8 pounds and X, percent body fat. Actually try to make it go towards something, not just, well, tomorrow's, arm day. I'm gonna go do arms, I guess. I might do some curls and some tricep extensions and go home. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I get pissed off. I see it every day.
That is a big thing. If you don't have a plan in place, you will find yourself skipping a lot of workouts you need to do. Like if say I don't have anything going in place. Say I'm not hitting chest and then back and buys and then shoulders and then legs, and if I don't have that planned out, I'm gonna come in on a day I should be working my legs and be like, the hell with that, I'm working arms.
It's so easy to be like, nah, I don't feel like doing legs, or I don't feel like doing this, then do something else. But like I said, if you get in that mindset to where it's like, no, I'm going to do this because this is what I'm supposed to do. Same thing with your diet. If you have a meal plan, I made that for you. Stick to it, because I mean, it's just crazy the results you'll get just by switching things up and doing something different. I mean, the plan I'm doing now, I'll have 2 different plans, and I incorporate both of them because I have one that's strictly for bodybuilders and one strictly for powerlifting. So I'm getting great results by combining the 2. I need to squat today, but I also need to do lunges and step ups, all this other stuff I usually never do. But I can see tremendous results because of it,
Yeah.
And it makes it fun again. Like, I'm not used to doing step ups. That's usually what I see in an aerobics class or something going on, But like, well, I can see why this works. My quads are blown up now, so.
Yeah, that's one thing too. Like Justin said, the combination of styles, you got to have an open mind. Like, the one thing you'll learn about fitness is everything's right and everything's wrong. I mean, I can take this exact question, let's say the abs every day. I bet you could Google it right now or pick up any magazine, and like you'll just see a list of like scientific proof that proves why you should do it every single day. And then there's lots of scientific proof of why you shouldn't do it every day. So a lot of it's experience and trying different things. And like he said, like one thing that I believe that I may catch a lot of flack for, like with people hitting me after this, but I think that and Justin would probably be able to answer this better than me, but I believe like if you've got a strength plateau and that's all you do is strength training, then if you throw a little bit of bodybuilding exercises in there, like he says he throws bodybuilding, what that does is it creates hypertrophy. And what hypertrophy does, it's I'm sure you heard, if anybody's ever watched old Arnold videos, he talks about getting the pump, and that's what it is. That's hypertrophy. It's your muscles when you get all swole, and what that does is your muscles have expanded, and your body's telling it, hey, I need to adapt to adjust to this size, and eventually you're going to expand your muscles with the bodybuilding workouts, and bigger muscles are going to give you more power. I mean, I honestly believe that. I mean, there are probably not a lot of people that will tell you that, but I think that's, and that might be a lot of, just me speculating, but I think, it'd be a good thing. You know?
Yeah, no, the strongest dudes out there that's total and high low 2000s, 2200 totals between 3 exercises. And they do squat, deadlift, and bench, and then the rest of their stuff is 4 sets of 15, bodybuilding exercises, and that's why. You got to break it down to build it. So I'm a firm believer in that. I agree with that, 100%.
I think that's about it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Justin will definitely be back. He'll for sure be back when we do the bench press video to kind of give you guys some ideas of where you might be stuck or where you might want to try. Also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget about the contest going on. We've got a t-shirt. It's a size large, 2 bottles of vitamins, and a personalized H2SWOLE meal plan that's going to be given away this weekend. That'll be actually on the show this weekend. So we're going to draw a name. So all you got to do that is share this video. You can share the last video before this. You actually probably want to go watch it if you want to see what those prizes are, because we showed them in that video. But thanks for coming, guys, and we'll see you this weekend. We're out.